Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Hager. This is their part number. It's apparently a BG0100220MIL2C0SP. It's a package of screws is what this is. Let's take a closer look at it right now. So obviously what I was showing you was an empty bag. So here is what the parts look like. You're going to have a series of sex bolts. This is going to be for the door, obviously. You're not going to sex bolt the frame. And there's going to be 10 of these. Okay. These are sex bolts. What makes this type of fastener so advantageous, or something that should be considered your possibly first choice whenever you can, is the length of the female component is such that when it's installed in the door and you run the male component, you tighten it down, it won't crush the door in, because that shoulder should be resting on the inside face of the opposite side skin. There are obviously splines that are here that will help prevent that from rotating. Nothing here to attack from the outside. Okay, that's going to be, well, from the inside. This will be on the egress side, usually. These are going to be underneath the snap cover, the trim that's going to go on the continuous hinge. So there'll be 10 of these. There's also going to be 22 self-drilling screws. These look to be possibly number 12 by 3/4 panhead tech screws, or self-drilling. They're not self-tapping, that's a self-drilling screw. Okay. You're going to get a couple of pieces of steel that have small little tips on them. These are important. They're going to help you locate everything when you're doing the installation. And that's everything that's in this bag. I've pulled it all out to separate it, to get photographs of it. Let's switch to the screen view, and I'll start with showing you the photographs, and then we're going to dive into where exactly this would be used. Okay, here is the item that we are looking at. Let's take a look at some images that we have here. Let's start at the beginning of the images. There's the packaging in the back side, showing you all of the screws and fasteners that are there, the sex bolts, the self-drillers, the 2 installation aids. There's one piece of it there. That's everything out of the packaging. And then just different perspectives on that. So the question is what hinge does this go with? I don't know. Let's take that part number and let's copy it. Let's open up the manufacturer's page in our site, which is here. And then if we were to scroll down and get to the product catalog, I'd be surprised if this part number was in the catalog, and it's not. Let's try the price list, which is far more common. Okay, let's open that up. Let's search there. It's not there either. Roton. Let's start with a 780-210 and see. Yeah. Okay, here's the Roton section. Discussing the different types of hinges. Electrical modifications. Replacement moldings. Okay, so replacement moldings for different hinge types. Additions, accessories, replacement parts, fasteners. Okay. Fasteners. Yeah, I don't see this package anywhere here. Now they list the different hinge models. Okay, so we have a mystery here in terms of what we're dealing with. These are the different part numbers, or the different screws that are included. It has to be either a half surface or a full surface, because we have the sex bolts. Here they are. Sorry, right here. And then we have the 1224 by 11/16 self-drilling panhead screw. That's for sure what's the other screw that's there. But they're not giving us anything else. So let's do this. Let's take a look at because this could very easily be the screw package for a 780-210, the common hinge. And installation instructions, let's take a look at that first. Yeah, this is probably it. Well, it may be. Oh, you know what? I don't think it actually is. It's got the wrong head screw for a 780-210. It must be for a different model of hinge. So let's do this. Let me pause this video and I'm going to call the manufacturer and find out what model this is from. Okay, so the 780-157 is a great, perfect example. You know, it's the reason I had an idea it was the narrow leg model, because I know that has a taller cap on it, and that would allow the panhead screw to fit underneath. So you're going to have a number of these, Then of course you have those studs. And the question becomes is, what are those two studs for? Let's take a look at that. And while they don't show an image of those studs, what they are center punches, actually. And the reason that they include the center punches with the hardware is because it's that important to get the screws perfectly located. So you've got this small piece of metal with a point on it that's going to literally go through the preparation, small little point here and here. Little preparation that's going to go, these will go right through the preparation for the hinge leaf itself, whether it be on the frame, which is going to be the smaller of the two, or the door for the through bolt. You can get that idea here, obviously. You get the hinge applied, and what I would do is I get the hinge put in place and get the door shimmed in place. I get the hinge exactly located where I want it, following the instructions, and I would mark two holes. I would mark one at the top, and then I would probably do, what I do is at the top of the frame and the door, I make sure that they're exactly where I want them. I get the hinge laid down on the face of the door, and then I mark the bottom, or I'll mark maybe halfway through, and then I will go through and punch, and I will drill the rest. Obviously, using a center punch and a hammer on a glass aluminum storefront door is something you need to be very mindful of. All you need to do is give yourself a small target for your drill bit to start, and that's when they refer to center punch. They're talking about those pieces of metal that are in there. Mark and center punch the locations. The size of these are exactly correct for the material. So that's what this screw package is for. Hager said it's only for the 780-157 that it comes up for. That makes sense to me. The small blind head, that's underneath the cap of the through bolt through the door, and then that's underneath the leaf on the frame. And if you recall, we showed where there were listings for the dress covers. In order to get to the head of that screw, you've got to peel that off. You've then got to remove about 22 screws to get that out. I had a client ask me earlier this week if that was secure. Well, you know, I've never heard of someone peeling a hinge off like that. This cap does not come off willingly. at all. And you really have to be working on the door in order to get that peeled off. I suppose if you were concerned with it, you could do a Torx type of screw out there, or you could, with your center of your countersink, smear out those number 3 Phillips drive on the outside. I've never heard of someone getting in by peeling that hinge off, that cover off. Let's go back to the item that we're talking about, back on the manufacturer's page, which was here. From here you can review not only all of the Hager products we sell, okay, by means of just scrolling here. You can also review all of the supporting documentation we have, again, such as the catalog, and then other encyclopedic documents, Hager's Keying Service Manual, Product Finishes Guide, and this video actually shows all of the different Hager finishes. And then for fun, we've got a Hager catalog from 1915. Let's wrap up this video on camera. Please be sure to like and subscribe. If you have any technical questions on this Hager screw pack for their 780, 157, or any other Hager product, feel free to reach out to us. I've installed continuous hinges. They are a lot easier than you might think. They really, really are. The first time I did one, it took me 45, 55 minutes. I had never done one before. I took my time. I was organized. I was very careful to get the door in place, and it was a functioning restaurant on a Saturday at 10 o'clock, which I would have been otherwise less bothered if it was after or before hours, I suppose. But hey, what are you doing there? Just trying to work. Any questions on this or any other Hager product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.